So when last we left you guys, you had just managed to smuggle in some apparently innocuous grapevines that contain a
Hmm.
Allegedly.
allegedly innocuous grapevines.
Right.
It's you guys get paid in the various ways Eki pays you. Some cold hard cash, some with favors, some with information. It's been about 2 weeks. Things have been dying down. What have you guys been doing the 2 weeks since your little escapade?
Dumpster diving for coupons.
That is where you find them.
Yeah, that is where you
Old
find the group.
newspapers, old magazines.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Harrow is putting out feelers still, just more discreetly than before, trying to find his ex-girlfriend, and doing the thief game because it's a professional
Refresh
thing
my
to do.
memory. What is her name?
I've got that written down somewhere.
Yeah, I have it
You
written
don't
down
even
somewhere
know
too.
your ex-girlfriend's name. For shame.
Listen,
There's a reason she's the ex.
actually, I don't have it written down anywhere.
Just make one up.
Right?
Margaret.
Yeah, you can call her whatever you want because it's a matter of we're not going to call you on it.
Anyways,
Could totally have been an alias for all he knows anyway, right?
go ahead and give me a wits investigation check for that. Don't worry about your hunger diets. This is over a period of weeks. I'm pretty sure you're. At no point would your thirst for blood really come into play on this.
I'm
It's
fine.
actually
Yeah.
really good that your hunger diet did not come into play. um, it's still pretty much dead ends. The is especially with how subtle you're trying to be. No one's really. It also helps that you. It also kind of hurts the fact your investigation that you don't remember her name, but. Um,
I'm sure Harrow does, just because I don't.
I'm joking. the it, but yeah, the investigation doesn't go particularly well. You're starting to get some rumors. She's still in town, as far as you're aware. There is no. It's just layered over the first stuff.
Gotcha. It's actually probably on my iPad because that's where I did everything before I put it on this physical sheet. But
You
whatever.
can't just because you're hungry doesn't it can't generate extra dice for you.
Okay, that's all it does.
Uh-huh.
Always.
Otherwise, you get really hungry just to be better at things that you're horrible at.
I was just wondering, like my dice pool by itself is like 2 wits and 1 investigation, so I didn't know if I should be rolling 40-10 when you say include a hunger dice or not. Is all
No,
I was getting at
I
there.
was just saying don't include the hunger die. But yeah, you even if you included it, it wouldn't.
Okay, so if we do
add.
include, we add an extra dice to the roll.
No.
Okay, did no. I just wanted to make sure because
Yeah,
I wasn't before.
No, don't.
I'm like, I'm including the dice whether you interpreted that
Your
or
hunger
not. So I
dice
was clarifying.
replaces dice you would have.
Okay.
But like if your hunger were 5 and you only had 3 dice in your pool, you don't get to roll 5 dice. You only get to roll 3 dice.
Well, that's not fair.
Anyways.
And what are you doing, Miss Shayna?
Yeah. Sorry.
I think Cece would probably be kind of thrown for a loop by all of this going on.
Mhm.
No connections to anything, certainly not like Harrow, but maybe asking her mother how she initially got involved with Father Matthias, trying to learn anything about the situation she's now in.
You learn from your Cece learns from her mother over the course of it, and it takes a little bit to draw it out of her. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have you do any rolls for it because it's kind of it's there's a trust there. So, you kind of get the feeling that it's not so much that she owes him a favor; it's for especially your clan, the Camarilla or the Masquerade provides a lot more protection for the Malkavians and the Nosferatu, because of how horrible their afflictions can get, they they would be the first ones hunted down if anything were to
Mm,
go wrong. So
right.
the so especially Father Matthias, who upholds the masquerade with a very harsh hand. He's seen as kind of the protector of both the Nosferatu and Malkavian clans.
Okay.
Um, Yuri, beyond looking for coupons, what are you doing?
Probably checking in with my connections on those lines, brief them on pretty much on everything that's actually happening, and see if there's anything else, any blowback that's happened. Update them on other things, as well as double check and verify the searches that we had on the people that I've been working with. A little bit more of a background check, so I know who I'm actually been working on, as well as all the information that I need to pass up the chain, and then training all the new people.
Okay. One of the things, so you actually get a little bit more information about what's going on. You do. Uh, there's a medical, like a biotech firm in San Jose, um, literally called Orgotech. Um, it's it's run by a few shell companies. It's hard to know who actually owns them, but they've been making. They seem to have a very developed sense of vampire biology, and they seem to have started developing weapons specifically designed to not kill but incapacitate vampires. Um, those rumors have been floating around, and and those weapons that you passed on seem to be those type of weapons. Um, the As for the things you smuggled back in, did you let them know about the grapevines? I'm assuming you did.
Everything and anything.
Okay. They
Very,
let you
very
know.
thorough.
Okay. They do ask you to. Um, you're blue collar enough that you could blend in with some of the. Well, you can't work the fields because you can't be on the daylight, but you could probably work with some of the cellar rats. To keep an eye on where those vines end up. They don't want you to actually intercept them or destroy them, but they would like to make sure that the their abnormalities are contained to specific vineyards and not any of the ones that your boss has interest in. Um, and you would know quite a few of the cellar rats. You're a bouncer. Most of them, as soon as they get off of work, they go to the nearest dive bar and get hammered. Um, you also get called into your boss about 2 weeks, 2 weeks after the mission. Yuri, eh, I have a job for you that I need your particular skills on.
Sounds good. When I leave,
I need you to go down to San Jose. Uh, there is, there's been an incursion. Your friend Lily was taken from one of my cellars.
I wouldn't call us friends.
Still, she is a pet project of both Matthias and Eki, and I would like them to owe me favors. If you could get her out, or at least punish the people that killed her, I would be most appreciative.
Does she have to be alive when I get her out?
Oh no, well, I would prefer it, but if, I mean, accidents happen.
Of course, of course.
Do be careful. We don't know much about this company. They they are almost as good as we are at hiding their tracks. Is there anything I can provide for you? Weapons, cigarettes, Groupon?
I'm good Groupon. Cigarettes, a car with a track, and I am good.
A track is tough. Uh, I can provide cassette player.
Almost as good. I take.
Okay. Um, he he motions to her to one of it. Sergey, get him to the Yugo. Aye, boss. Um, and he opens up a key rack, gets the oldest set of keys in there, and just tosses you them. You would actually know this car. This is like 30 years ago, it would have been a nondescript like beater car. Any college student would drive it. Now it might actually draw attention with just how much of a piece of crap it is. It's a convertible Yugo, but the convertible side of it doesn't really work anymore. Um, and with your large frame, well, you're actually pretty short, aren't you? Yeah, so you fit into it, but basically anyone over the height of 6 feet would have problems getting into this thing. Um, it's small, it's underpowered. The fact that it can drive around San Francisco is a little amazing, but that's what they hand you. Do you?
Sergey smokes.
And then he hands you your your brand, like 2 packs of. I still don't understand why you drink, why you smoke those things. You realize we can literally not imbibe nicotine.
Yes, but once you stop, the fun don't stop.
Ah. I would appreciate it if you would keep this at least mildly quiet. You know anyone who owe you favor?
He takes a while and thinks to himself. Nope.
Very well then. Do you need weapon? Or you have gun?
It's not in the car like usual.
It, their handgun and their shotgun in back, but I was thinking larger gun, something special.
Don't need anything special. Maybe another couple pocket knives. I'd be good.
Of course, of course. He hands you a collection of knives. Take your pick.
Take all of them.
Okay. He also hands you obviously a piece of paper with an address in down just south of San Jose. Here's the address. As I said,
D-
it's not the most well guarded building from the outside, but our how you say security experts tell me there is a lot of electronics for it to be what it is.
So looking at the map and your address, does it look familiar at all?
It's just an address in San Jose. You usually don't go that far south, mainly because you don't have a car, and it's kind of a drive. But you as far as Yuri's aware, he's never been to that specific address. So. It is in a decent part of town. It's not like a warehouse. It looks like a corporate. It's like one of the corporate It'd be like a strip mall, but not for business, not for retail businesses. It's for like corporate offices, corporate park. That's what the word I was looking for. Harrow, what would you be doing on just a random, we'll say, Tuesday night?
Probably wandering museums and galleries, just scoping out the scene in case any offers come up for pieces around town.
Okay. Um.
Professional thief, what?
Yeah, I got you. Um. Tuesday is kind of a bad day for the art scene. Um. Although if you're looking at like shipment labels, it's actually usually when stuff are coming in because you'll so you're probably familiar enough and you're a fast enough talker that you would have been aware of kind of the of who to talk to and where pieces are being unloaded, and if you want to get an early scope, you can see what anybody has. Um, as far as art, nothing is really being moved right now. However, there is in the kind of backroom dealings of just contraband being moved throughout the city. There is a lot of activity going down it, down near Silicon Valley. You don't know what it is. It's not drugs. They're too big. Whatever it is being moved, and it seems to be being moved around businesses. It's not being moved with people. Uh, no, it actually looks a lot like underground art deals. Like it's all being funneled to one specific area, and they're all big pieces. But you would have heard if there was like a underground auction going on. But some fences and some of the contacts around the city are aware of all that getting moved around.
Probably be keeping that information myself for now and seeing what the next Elysium brings. If some new players are moving into town, is my personal current suspicion, as they like to have nice abodes filled with art when they get to their new homes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably what his initial thought's going to be on that. Like someone with money and power and good taste is probably moving into the area, so he'll be on the lookout come next Elysium. Probably is about where he's going to go with that information.
Yeah. You do wherever you're holed up, probably in some rich person's pad that you've broken into. There is a light knocking on the door. Harrow, I know you're in there. You can obviously tell it's Eki.
That guy's everywhere. Then I'll kind of go over to the door and discreetly look through the peephole to make sure it's actually him.
All you see is a kind of olive skinned middle finger.
Eki has
Open
olive
the
skin.
fucking yeah.
Very well. And I open the door.
Really, Harrow? You knew it was me.
I'm a careful man. What do you want from me? You could have been being held at gunpoint. I mean, it could be you. Doesn't mean you're alone.
I thought you would like to know. I found her.
Oh?
That woman
Really?
you've been looking for? I know where she is.
Interesting. And you have given this information to who else?
Please, Harrow.
How fast do I need to move?
She's going to be where she is for a while, unfortunately. Even I can't get to her. Cams have her, and they're not happy.
That's the impression that I definitely got. Who's holding her?
uh, Marcus Anton, which you would actually know as the as the Nosferatu Primogen.
Well, he shouldn't be too hard to get in touch with, I imagine.
He's probably holed up in his castle up in Napa.
Oh, he lives above ground? Who knew?
Well, when you have a fucking castle.
I mean, yeah, there probably aren't too many of those either up there, eh? And what other information are you bringing me to sell? Because I'm sure this call isn't for charity.
Oh, Harrow, you know me so well. That's just a morsel. I also have a way to get her out, if you're so inclined. But I'm gonna need a favor.
You just said that she was beyond your reach.
She's beyond mine. I didn't say she was beyond yours. Me and the
do have a pretty
Cams
wicked
were
long
not
reach.
getting along very well these evenings.
Understandable. So what you got in mind?
My darling boy, you need to get down to San Jose. I'm sure you've heard of. Both of us have ears in similar areas. Sure, you've been hearing some things.
Some pieces have been moving in odd directions.
You know anything about the circulatory network? He actually says that with a sneer. It's the first time you've ever heard really contempt from Aki.
And do I know anything about the circulatory network?
Make make an intelligence, I would say, science check. If you have
That's
any
gonna-
if you have any status, you can add your status dice to it too.
I'm pretty sure that I don't. Ask nope.
Okay. You've heard rumors. Specifically, they are vampires and ghouls who traffic in specific blood donors. Like, they trade flavors of human to each other, like wine connoisseurs. They're pretty horrible creatures. Beyond that, you don't really know why. You don't know who.
Gotcha. So, I mean, not much reason to hold what little he knows. Probably act like, it's no big deal that he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And act like he knows more than he knows. But, yeah, he'll probably say something along the lines of, I've heard a few things. Blood traffickers. Sometimes high-end shit, fancy shit, expensive shit. For the people who don't like going out and getting their own, I guess.
As horrific as they already were, they've also ran afoul of some will workers down in San Jose, and they're trying to concoct something. They also got a hold of my precious little Lily.
And that's a person?
Yeah. You know Lily.
Okay. Just making
That's
sure.
Becca's character, is Lily.
Oh, I am batting horribly today. Remembering anything about this game. Sorry.
It's been
world.
2 weeks
Run
off,
this.
so
Right. Okay,
Hero knows that that's all that matters.
right. Harrow knows.
Yeah,
the player
Harrow knows.
is an idiot.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So the circulatory network has gotten a hold of Lily somehow, and you want what from them? Just her back, or is there something else you're looking
Oh,
for?
it'd be definitely really back, but I also want them to burn in the dawn sun.
Specifically, the dawn sun. Gloves are off.
Do whatever you need to, but I don't want them to survive the next few nights.
I'm sure we can come up with something.
Bring that Malkavian of yours. That you
The
know.
crazy one?
He gives you the shrug of it's a Malkavian.
I was just shocked that he meant the crazy one.
Yeah.
As opposed to the lucid one. I can probably track her down.
Also, I imagine your friend Yuri is probably already on it. I think he's contracted with the Good Father.
I'll check the bus schedules. Shouldn't be hard to track him down.
As I said, don't let any of those circulatory network people survive. But also, try not to let Yuri shoot up the place. Bullet holes draw attention.
Ah, so the gloves are on.
You'll have no problem from me. You do whatever you feel is necessary. Your first priority is killing those motherfuckers.
I look forward to bringing you the ashes of their leader.
Here's the address.
Harrow accepts the address.
You
And,
can either take the owner of this monstrosity. Got a car.
I can handle that. You'll handle your end with our good friend Marcus Anthony or Anton. Marcus Anton.
I'll get you the specs. I'll get you an invitation.
Fantastic.
As always, Harrow, we didn't see each other. This never happened.
I don't even know how you found me. And then I will slam the door and walk back into the place.
Okay. You hear an engine rev and then peel out.
Yep. So I will be looking to tidy up my little domicile, ensure that the evidence of my presence is not to be found,
Okay.
and I'll probably borrow the vehicle of whoever the owner is, and
Okay.
go look for my crazy Malkavian friend in the Groupon wielding bus roller.
Okay. So the car you get it's actually not nearly as ostentatious as the McLaren you stole the first
That's
time
fine.
you did it.
Yeah,
Did it.
convenience and speed this time.
It's like a Chrysler 300. It's not anything like. Obviously, this guy spent way more on his house and he's not really a car guy.
That's fine. I don't need anything fancy for this trip. I'm not making a point this time.
Okay. You're actually gonna arrive way before they do, because that would have actually happened later in the night. So are you heading straight there? Or are you gonna do anything? Terry?
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it.
Uh.
I was probably going to try to take the 101 down, so I'm trying to figure out what time of day it is and worry about traffic.
I would assume you guys would have each other's cell phones. It's like 9 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. It's not going to be bad until you hit San Francisco, but you can skirt around it to get to San Jose.
Yeah, I don't turn on the cell phone until I get to San Francisco because I know I'm roaming.
I'm imagining Yuri has like a Nokia flip phone at this point.
Yeah, pretty much straight there if I can, because then I don't have to worry about traffic and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, you get there with plenty of time. As I said, it's just a corporate park. Um, no one seems to be around because it's by the time you get there, it's probably 10:30. Um, everyone's cleared out. The only businesses open, you can see a kind of an overpriced bar, like 2 blocks down, that has quite a few um, like yuppies ordering horrible drinks, but otherwise, I mean, everyone's cleared out. There's hardly anyone here. You do notice this. There is a lot of security cameras. Uh, there are various cargo vans and trucks parked on the backside where the bay doors would be for um, receiving for loading and unloading. There's only really one loading dock though, because it's an office building. It's not a retail store, so there's usually not a lot of shipments. You do see a current shipment going on. Um, Large crates are being unloaded from a flatbed truck. Uh, there's 3 people in just like blue overalls lifting these boxes back into the back of the building.
Do the boxes look similar to the ones we were transporting, like
Mm,
shipping wise?
Similar size, but I mean, there's nondescript crates. It's hard, especially like you're not inside the perimeter yet. So from this distance, it's tough to tell. The people don't look like the same, like any of the same people that you interacted with previously, though.
Okay, so since this is in San Francisco, I'm trying to picture where it's at. But is it like a building that's by itself? There's buildings next door to it. Kind of figure that out.
Think of it like, so it would be, think of it like 3 buildings kind of right next to each other with chain link fences quartering them off in between each one. It's just a complex, and then there's one front door that's not in those chain link fences that's as opening as it could be, and then there's 2 large gates that are open that actually allow traffic to the loading dock in the back.
Okay, so with the cameras, are they just around the building specifically that I'm trying to get in?
They're on all 3 buildings, and they're facing both the street and to the center area where cars are driving in to unload stuff.
And the other buildings, are they open or not?
Um, like like their doors are closed. They have doors, but all the doors look closed right now. You're pretty sure you'd imagine they're probably locked because you don't, besides the lights from the loading dock, you don't see any lights here.
So I guess I'd try to figure out what buildings are where along those lines for it, and try to figure out if they have name brand enough to try to look their numbers up to try to give them a call.
So all 3 buildings are labeled the same. It's labeled Orgotech. If you want to give them a call, it's easy enough to look up their number.
Well,
In
no, I was thinking
fact-
about looking for a call.
What?
Said I was thinking about looking up a number to possibly call, but if they're, because I thought they were different companies. If it's just one building, they all have the same name, kind of thing, kind of takes away from what I was going to do.
Okay. Yeah. It's still the same name. Each one is just like building A, building B, building C.
And anything across the street from them?
There's it looks like there's some other businesses. You see one for you actually see one for Dell. You see most of these are. I mean, in San Jose, most of it's tech industry stuff. Um, there's the only like retail shop you can see is about half a block away. There's an Apple store. Um,
Okay, so let me tell you what I was trying to do.
mm,
So the idea, depending on what the buildings actually look like, also break in and call it in for something. Also, the idea of catching a fire in one place and then walking to the back loading docks and ask them for help, kind of thing. But I was trying to figure out what's close enough in proximity to it.
okay. So so if you wanted to start a fire, you could probably start some dumpster fire. There's definitely the on one side of the fence there's fully loaded dumpsters with a lot of cardboard. It'd be pretty easy to start a fire there. Um, Let me think.
Yeah, because basically I was going to just try to put a mask on, depending on the size of the building, try to start a fire inside the building, then run to the back, ask them for help about the fire, or I found a fire along those lines, and call the police, kind of thing, like I'm a bystander, and then try to get into the building in the back that way.
Okay, so you would probably, in order to start a fire in the building, you'd probably have to, you, the windows don't seem to be like bulletproof or anything. You could probably throw something through them to break open a window, or you could just smash open
That's
a
all.
window.
That's all. Do dumpster fire, toss it through the window,
Huh.
go to the back, call for fire department, whatever, and then discard the phone, leave it on, and then go to the back.
Okay, trying to think of what I want you to roll for this. Go ahead. Starting the fire isn't going to be tough. Making that throw isn't. But in order to not get caught on camera is going to be an issue. So go ahead and give me a wit stealth check to make sure you don't get caught on camera. Starting that fire.
Yeah. Oh, I don't mind getting caught on camera. Like I said, I was going to try to put a mask on or something on those lines,
Oh,
and then
okay.
take it off on my way to ask for help.
Okay, that's fine then. Okay, so the first real thing that's going to be a test is going to be getting them to go. So I need you to give me a manipulation subterfuge check.
I do not see subterfuge on the list.
Hang on, let me see what the. Give me a second.
Standard character sheet that's at the bottom of skills, right under.
This is.
It's under social attributes. Very last one.
Yeah, it's not on his thing. Give me a sec.
It's probably really low. I didn't put too much into those.
Okay,
So I give you 2 or 3.
just roll 3 dice for me. I think. We'll say that. 2 and 9. Okay. As you come hollering in, they're like, "Who the hell are you?" And they're gonna. So they don't quite believe you. So, one of the. So, the manager seems. Bill, go check out that fire, and you, whatever you are, we'll handle this. Get back. Get back to what you were doing. You're on private property. They don't seem to be They seem to be more worried about you being here than they are about the fire.
Yeah, I'll leave. I'll walk to the front to where the other guy's at and see what he's doing with the fire.
He runs in, grabs a fire extinguisher. He's not great at firefighting. He obviously has never actually used this fire extinguisher before, but he's I mean, he's being effective. He is engaging the fire as effectively as he can. He is floundering a little bit. Around this time, let's actually cut back to Harrow. What are you doing? Harrow and Cece, what are you guys doing? Because Harrow, you
Presumably, I've already obtained CC and have been trying to get a hold of Yuri. So eventually his phone's gonna ring, I would imagine. But that's up to him when he turns it on because we're only.
I would actually assume that like when he hit, yeah. So when you get to San Jose and yeah, you probably got a text from him. Roaming, don't bother me.
So I'll probably toss my phone to CC while it's unlocked and have her text back.
Okay.
that we're on our way to San Jose.
And probably use his assistance with cleaning up a mess for Becky.
Okay.
It's not safe to text while you drive. Yeah, I'd be doing that. Yeah.
That's why I tossed you the phone.
I'm agreeing with your choice.
So I'm gonna say around because it's just the most dramatically appropriate moment. You arrive as the building you're supposed to investigate is apparently on fire.
That's a problem. Like he said, he wanted the dawn sun, not a fire. Aye. So yeah, I guess I'll.
It's a relatively small fire. It's like one window. You can.
You know what? I know better. I'm not getting near that fire. Is it?
And I would imagine you're not making any effort at this point to hide yourself, right?
No, I'm not. I'm probably going to try to make a big deal. The more and more people come, just, like, oh my goodness, what's happening? What do we need help?
So you see a short Russian guy that you know running around trying to get people to fight this fire.
So yeah, may as well just meander up to him all nonchalant, like, be like, I see you started a party without us. What's going on?
Can't you see there's a fire? I'm trying to help the people.
Oh, that's a fire. I hate it when people don't. So, you know anybody here yet?
So, question for you, Scott: did the guy go through the front door to get the fire extinguisher, kind of open it, kind of thing?
Oh yeah, definitely. He is in his haste. He left it unlocked, so it's slightly ajar.
Yeah, like I said, so I'm making as much deal as I can, try to attract as big of a crowd to distract him as much as I can.
Okay. It's really not that hard to attract a crowd. Fires draw attention.
While that's happening, I'm actually going to ask Cece if she can poke around inside with her voodoo voodoo voodoo, see if she can't find Lily.
I'm sorry, my what? My voodoo voodoo voodoo?
That's a word for it.
I mean, if you want to call it that. You mean like share senses? Or I see through her eyes? Would I be able to do that if I know she's in the building?
So, no.
No. Okay.
You